10, 15 years from now, marriage was so easy. Brothers had their head straight, sisters had their head straight. You know, a brother wanted to get married, he would approach the wali, you know, he would go about the right means. And sisters wanted to get married, she would speak to her father, someone's approach, whatever, boom, boom, boom. MashaAllah, they've had a meeting to get married. And they do it for the right reasons. Nowadays, we've got all sorts of things that are in the way. We've got social media. So now sisters now have got a certain and what, like, once again, I'm jumping, but just to touch on the things we're going to be talking about. Sisters now, they've got a certain criteria where they want brothers to look like certain people they've seen on social media, students of knowledge and this and that, and they're comparing a specific profile that they want or they wish to get married to a brother that's in front of them in a meeting. Sister, what are you doing? Not everyone is the same. Not everyone wants to go and become a student of knowledge and be a social. No, but at the same time, maybe they want to seek knowledge and they want to fear Allah and they want to, you know, be about to be a right husband and a right father and build a family and go to, and, you know, aim for Jannah. So why are you comparing? Don't be fooled with what you see, wallahi ukhti fillah. And that's the problem, wallahi. I've noticed it's a big problem. Sisters now have a certain criteria nowadays. You know, they want you to be active in the masjid. They want you to. Well, I'm not saying that this is bad, but no, it's not for everybody. It doesn't mean he doesn't pray 5 times a day. It doesn't mean he's not seeking knowledge. It doesn't mean he's not listening to scholars. It doesn't mean he doesn't want to be, you know, someone that aspires to be someone that acquires knowledge and teaches his family. But sisters, stop setting your standards so high. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, I'm excited to tell you that what you've been asking for all these years, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, Allah has facilitated. MSL Travel and Tours is finally launching May 2024. Look, you live in the West, you've got a 9-to-5 job, you're stressed, you're under pressure, you need to get out. Why? You need to rekindle your relationship with Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. Allah says in the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ قال ابن عباس أي ليوحدون. The reason and sole purpose we exist is to what? Worship Allah. But we can sometimes get distracted, caught up in the dunya, the rat race, the jungle, trying to make ends meet, trying to make extra money. MSL is here to take you away from that for 10 days. That's it. 10 days in May, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. We'll be traveling from London Heathrow Airport. You may ask the question, what if I live outside? We provide and we tailor for you tickets from your destinations, inshallah. For those that ask about applying for all the universities, I'll look at your application, I'll help you, I'll take you, inshallah, to Al-Qura to visit, also Madinah University to visit it. We'll be able to help you with your application. We offer as well free translations for all those that come with us, free translations for all your documents from the English language to the Arabic language, or from any language to the Arabic language. We've got so much more to offer. We have private sitting with the scholars, walillah alhamdu wal minna. We've got tailored reminders daily by Ustad Yunus, may Allah preserve her. Reminders by myself, inshallah, and so many others, Tullab al-Ilm. And not just that, we've got sports activities, brotherhood and sisterhood, horse riding as well, quad biking, visiting certain historical places in Mecca and Medina, and so much more. We're here to try and bridge that gap between yourself and your Lord Jalla Jalaluhu. We want to attach your heart back to your Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. Join MSL Travel and Tours, where you have unforgettable moments. Assalamu alaikum.
حركاتهم وهمومهم وعزومهم لله لا للخلق والشيطان. نعم الرفيق لطالب السبل التي تفضي إلى الخيرات والإحسان. تفضي إلى الخيرات والإحسان.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. أحييكم جميعا بتحية الإسلام. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your brother in Islam, Abdullah bin Khamis, greets you all with the best of greetings, subhanallah, which is the greeting of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So inshallah, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, these are new series that will be starting, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, which we ask Allah the Almighty, سائلا به جل جلاله بأسماء الحسنى وصفاته العلى أن يجعله أن يكون مباركا ونافعا وخالصا. Ask Allah the Almighty to make these gatherings beneficial ones, these liqa'at, make it sincere for His sake, جل جلاله. And it's the topic of az-zawaj, marriage, because many of the times people approach and go about marriage the wrong way. Many of the times people are clueless. Many of the times people don't know how to go about it. They're lost. They don't know what is the sunnah. So bi'idhnillahi ta'ala will be covering, and it's not a means of lessons. This is not lessons. I don't see this as lessons, but rather just us talking and discussing certain things that are important. Because wallahi ikhwani, marriage is something that's amazing. It is great. It's beautiful. Wallah, honestly, marriage is something that's great. And how can it not be if the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, وَأَنَا أَتَزَوَّجُ النِّسَاءِ, or كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said in authentic narration that I marry women, i.e. meaning that he gets married. It's from the sunnah, you know. And Allah Azza wa Jalla states in his noble book in Surah An-Nisa, فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْلَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَعَ فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا فَوَاحِدَةً أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ. Yani in this verse Allah states, you know, then marry from those that you're capable of doing so. Mathna. So inshallah we'll also discuss this for all the brothers out there, you know, that have this this high aspiration in doing so, but once again they take the wrong means and wrong methods in doing so, i.e. meaning a ta'addud, marrying more than one. And all the sisters out there that, you know, are completely against it and don't like it, polygamy and what have you. No, these alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, from that which Allah states in His own book. Allah starts with two. He states two. فَانْكِحُمْ مَا طَبَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ, two or three, وَرْبَعَ فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا. Look, subhanallah, oh, look at that, amazing. And if you're scared you're not going to be just, so we will touch on these inshallah as we go along. Then وَوَاحِدَةً أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ. So anyway, al-muhim, marriage, brothers and sisters, is from the blessings of Islam. It is something that Allah Azza wa Jal has made lawful for His servants. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam states in his noble, in an authentic narration, and he was advising the shabab. He said, يَا مَعْشَرَ الشَّبَابِ, O gathering of youth, مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ مِنْكُمُ الْبَاءَ فَلْيَتَزَوَّجْ. If you're capable in doing so, i.e. meaning those of you that are capable in doing so, have the means, the sustenance, the capability, then get married. فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ, يعني if one is not able to, فَلْيَصُمْ, you know, or كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّوْمِ. If he's not able in doing so, if you can't get married, brothers, and wallahi, this is sincere advice. Like I said, this is the beginning of different episodes that would have in order to bring about benefit بإذن الله تعالى. You know, كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب الأخي ما يحب لنفسه. None of you is a true believer until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. And I remember, subhanAllah, at the time when I got married, I wasn't advised. I didn't have the advice from people that I sought advice from, and I did seek advice. But this is the problem, because it's not something that a lot of people talk about. And you wonder why. Allah knows best. But anyway, so I love for my brother what I love for myself. And I would wish that the one that watches this, those that are not married, benefits. And those that are married, inshallah, لَعَلَّهُ يَسْتَفِيد. Hopefully they do benefit, even if it's something small. So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, if you're not able, if you don't have the capability, you haven't found the right spouse, then fast. Wallahi, brothers, fast. Fasting is literally it's literally يعني كأنك في السجن العبادة. يعني I mean this in, metaphorically, meaning it's as if you've imprisoned yourself in worship in a good way. So because when you're fasting, you're fighting off those shahawat, those desires. You're literally more or less slaughtering them and putting them away in a means of protection. You're tucking them away. Literally, you get those desires, you slaughter them, you take them away, and you tuck them away. Which means is that you're preserving yourself. You're keeping yourself preserved, and you're keeping your honor. Because wallahi, so much fasad happens. But wallahi, when you fast for the sake of Allah, وَمَنْ تَرَكَ شَيْئًا لِلَّهِ, if you leave off the haram for the sake of Allah, عَوَّضَهُ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا مِنْهُ. Wallahi al-azim, it's so true. And trust me, brothers, fast Monday and Thursdays. Brothers complain, oh Allah, I'm struggling, man. Wallahi, akhi, I'm burning, subhanAllah, I just want to get married. And some brothers say, Wallahi, I'm roasting, I'm on fire, I want to get married. Brothers be like, akhi, Wallahi, it's difficult out here, man. Wallahi, I'm burning, akhi. Wallahi, Abdullah, you don't understand, man. It's difficult. Wallahi, it's fitan, akhi. And I'm like, Ikhwani, I know, I understand. It's not like I'm not human. I've been there. Been there, done that. We've you know, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, yani we've gone through the marahil of that, those stages when you just feel like you can't control yourself anymore. And I mean this in a means of, yani you're going through that stage where maybe you're from the you're that age of, let's say, 18 to 25, or maybe you've gone beyond that, and you're still not married and you're struggling, and you're trying to keep yourself, you know, at the same time, you know, modest, and you're trying to keep yourself preserved from the sisters as well. You know, you know, it's fitna when you go to the masjid, maybe when you're walking on, you know, especially nowadays, so many things, we're exposed to so many things. People have, you know, social media platforms. It's fitted. But wallahi, brothers, specifically to the brothers, and of course sisters as well, you know, the message goes for both. Wallahi, if you keep yourself preserved, you keep yourself, you know, secured, you keep yourself protected by the means of worshipping Allah. Fasting is wallahi one of the best means, because when you fast, تتعب نفسك نفسيا, just me and your خلاص مرهق, you're completely shattered. Your body feels like it can't take anything. Why? Because of the fact that you're fasting. So when you fast, that's why Prophet ﷺ says, فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّوْمِ فَإِنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ. If you can't, then fast. The Messenger ﷺ ما ترك شيئا إلا كان خيرا لنا والله ما ترك شيئا إلا كان شرا لنا عفوا وما حذرنا من شيء إلا كان شرا وما دلنا على شيء إلا كان خيرا. The Prophet ﷺ didn't leave off anything or warn us from something except that it's bad for us. If he warned us against it, it means it's bad. إن حذرنا من فاعلم أنه شر لك. If he warned us about something, know that it's bad for you. It's bad for us. وإن دلنا على شيء, if he showed us something, والله it's خير for you. والله العظيم it's خير for you. Whether you may know it or not, he is the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم أفضل الخلق في الأرض والسماء وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين. He was sent only as a mercy to mankind, Allah, brothers and sisters. So hence why he's saying to you, if you can't get married, and brothers, it's now 2024, you know, that season is the season of every year it comes in, and brothers, you know, and sisters are going through these things where it's difficult. And wallahi, and I'm a witness to it, I remember back in the day, let's say 10, 15 years from now, marriage was so easy. Brothers had their head straight, sisters had their head straight. You know, a brother wanted to get married, he would approach the wali, you know, he would go about the right means. And sisters wanted to get married, she'll speak to her father, someone's approach, whatever, boom, boom, boom. MashaAllah, they've had a meeting to get married, and they're doing it for the right reasons. Nowadays, we've got all sorts of things that are in the way. We've got social media. So now sisters now have got a certain, and what, like, once again, I'm jumping, but just to touch on the things we're going to be talking about, sisters now, they've got a certain criteria where they want brothers to look like certain people they've seen on social media, students of knowledge and this and that, and they're comparing a specific profile that they want or they wish to get married to a brother that's in front of them in a meeting. Sister, what are you doing? Not everyone is the same. Not everyone wants to go and become a student of knowledge and be a social. No, but at the same time, maybe they want to seek knowledge and they want to fear Allah and they want to, you know, be about to be a right husband and a right father and build a family and go to, and, you know, aim for Jannah. So why are you comparing? Don't be fooled with what you see, wallah, ukhti fillah. And that's the problem, wallahi. I've noticed it's a big problem. Sisters now have a certain criteria nowadays. You know, they want you to be active in the masjid. They want you to. Well, I'm not saying that this is bad, but no, it's not for everybody. It doesn't mean he doesn't pray 5 times a day. It doesn't mean he's not seeking knowledge. It doesn't mean he's not listening to scholars. It doesn't mean he doesn't want to be, you know, someone that aspires to be someone that acquires knowledge and teaches his family. But sisters, stop setting your standards so high. When you yourself, what do you have to offer for the table? What are you putting for the table? What are you putting to the table? Same as the brothers. Brothers want to be going to meetings and they've got a certain criteria. You know, they've been exposed to so many things out there and they want to get married to someone, mashallah tabarak ar-Rahman, hur al-ain. And at the same time, they want her to be someone that's very, very knowledgeable. And at the same time, ya akhi, what are you putting to the table? What are you putting to the table? Are you perfect in your looks? Are you perfect in your knowledge? Are you perfect in everything? So you have to bear that in mind, brothers and sisters. So once again, let's go back to the topic. Topic at hand is marriage. Now, what do we mean when we say marriage? What is marriage? Brothers, sisters, is marriage just something that you go, you find someone, you do the act of nikah, you get married, and that's it? happily ever after. Hasha wa kalla. It's far from that. If you think marriage is you find the right person that you're attracted to, you now go have a meeting, aqd al-nikah, speak to the wali and what have you, you pay the mahar, sisters receive the mahar, you go about, you get a house and you live together, Bob, that's it. I was going to say something, but people won't understand this. I think it's a British saying, but you know, that's it. Job's a good one. No, that's not the case, mate. Job's not a good one. It's just it doesn't end there. There's far from that which you may have perceived. So your perspective is different to that which is the haqa'iq, that which is the reality. The haqiqah is that marriage is beyond that. Marriage is beyond just you picking up yourself and finding the right person. Sisters, brothers, you have to understand marriage is a lifelong commitment. It's something that you're committing yourself. But once again, it's not just a lifelong commitment, it's something you're doing which inshallah you get rewarded for. You complete half your religion. So you have to understand that things are more than just you being the person where you're going and that's it, you're going to get accepted for marriage. No. It's more than that. So the Prophet ﷺ says in this hadith, and he explains, and we take fawaid from this hadith. Ya ma'ashar al-shabab. So this point number one. Write this down or just know it. The younger you are when you get married, question by the way, I can say to you the better, but is it so? This I can't answer for you. A sister can be 20 years old, but mashallah tabarak ar-Rahman, aqliyan, mindset wise, she's 25, she's 30, she's mature, she knows what she wants to do in terms of being a righteous spouse, a righteous wife. A brother could be the age of 20 and he's still acting like he's 20, he's still acting like he's 5, or he's still acting like he's 12 years old. He doesn't have a clue with regards to marriage. So once again, you have to look at yourself. Are you actually ready as a man to be responsible enough to look after your wife to be? Are you ready as a sister to take on all of the responsibilities of being a wife and look after the household and look after your man? Look after the household, look after your man, and look after inshallah the children, your husband to be and children to be. Children to have, sorry. So are you at that stage? If not, then you need to ask yourself, am I going to put myself in a predicament where I'm going to regret it? Or am I putting myself in, I'm signing myself up to something that I'm going to love and try my best to be the best at, i.e. the wife or the husband? You have to ask yourself all these questions because there are very crucial questions and they're very important. And they actually make or break your relationship. Once again, this is something that is not in all cases, but I'm saying to you the benefits we're taking from this hadith. So that's the first hadith, this is the first benefit. Ya ma'ashar al-shabab, O gathering of youth. So bearing in mind, especially nowadays, that people, and you find it's due to experiences, it could be due to your experiences, it could be due to your upbringing, as to whether you're going to be someone that's responsible, mature or not. Because according to your experiences and how you're raised, decides and dictates the way you will be as a husband or a wife. Because it's not easy. It's not an easy thing. Wallah, brothers, I'm telling you from first hand on experience. I got married, alhamdulillah, at a very young age. But it wasn't something that is, you know what? Let's go. Jobs are good and let's go. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Let's have party. You know, let's enjoy ourselves. It's not like that. It's responsibility. It's a responsibility. It's not just any responsibility. It's a responsibility. It's marriage. Someone now is going to be dependent upon you. That's not a joke. If you can't look after yourself, how do you expect to look after someone else's daughter? Picture it. Deep that, ikhwani. If you can't look after yourself and you're not someone that's responsible, you're lazy so-and-so, yeah? And you're someone that just wants to sit on a couch, sit on the sofa, you want to just, not do anything. You're someone that you don't want to work. You want to be living in your parents' house. If you're that stage, then you need to actually really and truly review yourself. Sit down and think, are you ready for marriage? Is it for you? That's what you need to ask yourself. Because it's not easy. I'm telling you now, someone depending on you, it's not easy. See, when you're a man and you're going to be a husband, you have to understand there's no room for trials and mistakes. No. You have to understand that your every move is watched by your wife. And I mean this in a good way, meaning that of course what you make as a decision will affect her. And the next step and move that you do will be either detrimental or will be something that's beneficial. So you have to bearing in mind that marriage is going to change everything. It's going to change the perspective. It's going to change the whole scope. Everything is going to change now. It's the moment you get married, you can't no longer be someone that you're married and you're just chilling with the brothers late at night. You know, you're doing what you want. You're literally just there. You've got no care. You've got no, because then you're going to be affecting someone else's life. And you're going to be either a means of them increasing in the iman, or a means of them having a decrease and literally their iman deteriorating and them being affected. So you have to be ready for that, brothers. So that's the first benefit. So I don't want to drag on to it, but once again, it's something that you have to understand, because you know, الرجل هو الأمير البيت. يعني the man is the one that's in charge and responsible of the household. You know, and that's something that you have to understand. It's very crucial for you to realize, because when you're the man, you're someone that you have to be the one. يعني the Arabs have a saying, الزوجة على دين زوجها. يعني that the wife is upon the religion of the husband. So you have to bear in mind, you have to get your standards and your responsibilities and your priorities straight from get-go. Is this something I can actually do? A lot of brothers, I see many brothers message, akhi, do you have any sisters that are ready for marriage? Brothers, akhi, I want to get married. And I look at some of them I look at, it's like, akhi, you don't even know what marriage is, akhi. You just need to literally learn, mature, become a bit responsible, and then go seeking for marriage. Because wallahi, look, a lot of brothers and sisters as well, this is a message for both. When Allah says in the Quran, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكَ, you can hate something that's good for you and you don't realize it's good for you, but you hate it. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكَ, and you could even long for something and yearn for something that's detrimental and is very, very damaging for you, but you don't see it with your naked eye. You can't see it in front of you. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Look at how Allah completed this verse. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah states in the last bit that Allah knows and you do not know. Allah knows what's better for you. Allah knows what's good for you. So you could have made dua last Ramadan. You could be making dua now until Ramadan comes. You've got a couple of months left until Ramadan. You could be asking Allah day in, day out for Allah to grant your wife this year. But maybe this year it's not good for you to get married. Maybe you could be asking Allah to grant you the righteous husband. This year it's not right for you to get married. You're not ready for marriage, because Allah knows that which is good for you more than you do. So that's why never, ever think bad about your Lord Jalla Jalaluhu. Brothers, they be making dua to get married at the age of 18 and they don't get married until they're 28. ومن بعد, after that, what is wrong with that? You weren't ready 10 years ago. You weren't ready when you're 18. You thought you were ready because you had a job and you had a car and you had a house, but you weren't ready. Mentally, you weren't ready. Physically, you weren't ready. When I say physically, meaning you didn't have your priorities straight. You know? You didn't know what marriage meant. You didn't have a means of being responsible with certain basic stuff that your parents give you. How are you going to expect to look after someone? How do you expect to be a righteous husband? Same as a sister. You know, you wanted to get married, but yet you're still in your feminine mindset. You think you have to be the one that is in control of everything. You think you have to be at the moment where you are now, you're at the age of 22, and you think that being married is that you're going to go to work, he's going to go to work, you come back, and then he cooks, and you sit down, and you start saying that you're the one that wants to do this, and you want to do that, and you want to get a car, and you don't want to drive his car, you don't want to seek permission from him. You weren't ready at that age, hence why you're not married yet now. Everything happens for a reason. So you have to bear in mind, once again, I'm dropping out certain things because I'm going to be discussing them later on, inshallah. Like I said to you, a lot of the times I find that the more the generations go on and the years go on, the more we are further away from our deen, which means there's a lot of mistakes. Look at the divorce rate right now in anywhere in the world, any country, whether it's Muslim country or non-Muslim country. أقول لك صراحة, anywhere right now. What's the reason? Because, and I'll say one of the biggest reasons is because a lot of sisters don't understand the concept of marriage. There's a lot of feminism nonsense going about. It's literally like a flu going around, and it's something that's sick, and it's something that's far from the haqq. It's far from the truth. Sisters want to be out there, mashallah, working a nice 9-to-5 job. Picture this and deep this, sister. This is a message for you, sisters, okay? Like I said, we're going to touch on it in detail, but this is not the first. It's not the first thing, but it's just something that came to my mind. Sisters will go out. Let's say you're a sister, okay, and you're married, or you want to get married. Picture this, okay, and just use your intellect I'm not even telling you to to be intelligent, to understand this. You don't have to be someone that has a degree or master's. You can just be a lay common person. A lay common person understands it. Hence why if you look towards the time of our parents' age and their generation, you would find that divorce was very much limited. And I'm talking about mainly those that weren't brought up in the West, because you've got parents that are brought up in the West, but they've been affected. I'm talking about if you look back home in a normal average family, if you go inside any sort of city, inside a country, back in the 80s when they got married, or the 70s, and look, divorce was aib. Divorce was looked down upon, it was frowned upon, it was aib. يعني someone will come home and be like, يعني طلق امرأته, or this is that. حشومة. So I have to just drop the mark and say, يعني literally, يعني it looked at like aib. You know, it's looked at like, come on, like it's aib. If someone got divorced, like what's going on? Like for what reason? They would fight against it because it breaks the unity in a family. So now picture this, sisters. You are now 20 years old, okay? Or 20 to 25 years old, for example, or even 30, however, doesn't matter your age. You're waking up early in the morning, you're getting dressed, doing yourself up, fresh. After Fajr, inshallah, you prayed Fajr, whatever, and now you get to the office or you get to work at 9 o'clock, okay? I'm just telling you, you're in a business, you're a manager, 9 o'clock. You come back home at 6 o'clock to your husband, okay? Now, all of the hours that you've spent at work, whether it's in an office or any sort of other environment outside of your house, from 9 until 6 or 5, you get home after traffic, 5, so it means you've driven yourself, you've interacted with other people. I'm not saying you're in an environment where it's only men, let's just say it's only sisters, but then you get home and it's now around 6 o'clock. Sisters, all of your energy is gone. All of your energy is gone. You've come back home and your husband's come back home. You're now a sister. Okay, let's say your name is Salma or Aisha or Sumayya or Maryam. That Maryam has come back home and now she's more or less 10% of her energy, of her mindset and her being able to interact is remaining of the 90%. Why? Because 90% went to work. Which means what? Which means she's only going to be able to give a little bit to her husband. Now, picture this and deep this. All of that, those hours where you're fully there, your mindset is there, you know, you've got a good sense of humor, you've woken up from the right side of the bed, which means you've got energy to interact, to, you know, to give out the positive energies as well, and to have a conversation with your husband, to look after the household and what have you. It's all gone to work. You've come back home and your husband's at home now, or maybe, you know, you've come back after him, and how do you have energy to be able to cook, to be able to look after him, to be able to interact with him? I'm not saying that's the only thing a wife is supposed to do. Don't please, sisters, don't be confused, but I'm speaking facts. You come back home now at 6 p.m. How are you able to be a wife and a spouse and a friend, to be able, you know, when you basically more or less, you're drained, you're shattered, you're murhaqa, you're gone, you're finished, and now you expect to be a wife at what, 6 p.m? From 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. and you have to get ready for work the next day. Sisters, brothers, these are the reasons why marriages are breaking apart. Because everyone is playing the wrong role. No one actually understands the role they're supposed to be playing. So once again, it's something for you to think about. Let's say now you've got kids in the picture. How are you supposed to be a mother? Okay, a good mother, and at the same time, a full-on time. Once again, sisters, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm giving you the reality and the facts. You're now outside of the household. Who's raising your children? Social media, day workers, nannies. Who's raising your children? Their grandparents. Is that the grandparents' job to raise your children as well? Yeah, and when are you going to be a mother? Do you understand? This is where I'm going with this. Anyway, back to the topic. So in terms of being a youth, you have to see yourself. Are you actually ready to actually embark upon that journey of being a wife or being a husband? Because it's something that you have to understand fully. Okay, and sisters think that I'm just hammering them. No, wallah, I'm going to hammer the brothers as well. Everyone has to get hammered, because at the end of the day, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, but we play the wrong role a lot of the time. A lot of the time we're playing the wrong role, hence why things don't work out correctly. If we had followed Islam in everything we do, Allahu Akbar, this ummah, it's not something that just came about by chance, you know. كنتم خير أمة تخرجون كنتم خير أمة. We were the best of generation. It's something that's without a doubt, we're the best of nations. تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. You know, we literally are both from those that we're from those that abide and enjoin the good and forbid the evil. Kuntum khayra ummatin. Yani literally, it's something that we have to understand. Why? Because if you follow the right guidelines of Islam. Hence why the Muslims, alhamdulillah, we conquered lands. People would send their children to learn, you know, certain aspects of the deen and other aspects of religion and Arabic language and other aspects of, you know, how to deal with people and family. But now it's just everything is set wrong because people have wrong expectations. People are not playing the roles. The wife wants to be the husband. The husband wants to be the wife, where he just basically sits at home and does nothing. And then he just, you know, expects everything to be done for him. And then at the same time, the wife wants to, you know, be the bread maker, breadwinner, and go out and make money. That's not how it works. Yes, maybe you're muttar, maybe you're in a position where it's a necessity because a sister, I don't know, maybe her husband is not capable of. I'm not talking about everyone. I'm saying generally speaking, everyone has to play the right role, but many times people have the capability to play the right role, but they choose not to. So, man istata'a minkum al-ba'a. So now we're talking about who has the capability in terms of being married. Capability, ikhwani, goes to so many different things. And akhawati. Capability could be financial. You're financially capable in getting married. But also capability could be in terms of responsibility. Because someone could be capable, deep this, someone could be capable in getting married, i.e. in terms of having the means and a sustenance and a house and a car, and you know, you have the means of rizq from Allah Azza wa Jal, but at the same time you're not responsible. Are you then ready to get married? You answer that question. We've mentioned it earlier. Now the next stage is in terms of, okay, I want to get married, but I can't. What do I do? Who's the right person? Do I use these, you know, online social media matrimony profiles and stuff? Is it the right thing to do? You have to ask yourself these things. So now, if you can't get married, what do you do? We mentioned, what do? You fast. You try to make sure you fast. Monday and Thursdays. It's not difficult. You get rewarded for it, and you also get rewarded for leaving off something that you are not able in doing, so therefore you're not doing haram, you're fasting. You're making tatbiq of the hadith. Think about it. You're leaving off your desires and haram and zina. You get rewarded for that. You're implementing the sunnah, which is fasting, and you're also doing it because Prophet told you to do so. How much reward do you want? When you make the intention, wallahi, you can get rewarded tenfold because you're doing all of these things. And you also left off something for Allah. Inna Allah la yudhi'u ajra al-muhsinin. Allah doesn't put to waste the good deed of a good doer. So wallahi, realize and know that if you do it, you get rewarded for it. So that's that. Okay. Why should you fast? فإنه يعني and why should you fast? Because of the reasons we mentioned. Why now should you get married? فإنه أغض للبصر. Wallahi, brothers, getting married is something is sweet. It's beautiful to have a spouse, to have someone that aids you and reminds you of Allah, to have someone that helps you getting close to Allah, to get in the akhirah and getting the Jannat al-Firdaus al-A'la. May Allah grant us all that. Getting married is something that's beautiful. It could be prosperous, it could be amazing, but there are certain things we need to cover before we get into how can you actually gain this. وَأَحْصَنُ لِلْفَرَجِ. And also it's a means of you protecting yourself from committing zina, from committing haram and all sorts of haram relationships and dating and all these other things that wallahi la khayra fiha. There's no goodness in any of those things. So you have to bear in mind and realize that marriage is something that's amazing. And also, from another thing is that you get rewarded. It's as if you've completed half of your religion. So all of these things, brothers and sisters, is something that's amazing. Yeah, and when you get married, it's something that you have someone where you can live with, you have someone where you can do halal with, you have someone as well that at the same time, you know, from wasting time, sisters that waste time, brothers that waste time, you've got someone now that you can try your best to build your future offsprings and generation that will be Muslims and Muslim ambassadors. And that person has to be right from get-go. Hence why we have to realize and understand that before before you actually go for marriage, try and fix yourself as a person. Try and better your Islam and your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. The number one advice I give to all the brothers and sisters with regards to marriage is sincerity. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, you have to be sincere, man. Wallahi, you have to be sincere. Sincerity is a big thing. Yeah, and for someone that's not sincere, you don't get any khair. So when you want to get married, a lot of times marriage relationships, they break. Why? Because the brother orders us and they weren't sincere. Maybe you're just following the hype, the trend. But had you been sincere, maybe Allah would have made it easy for you and it would have been successful. So you have to understand and realize that you have to be sincere. يعني from the means of marriage, Allah states in the Quran, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. يعني from the signs that we have created, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, that we've created for you from amongst you, i.e. from Adam alayhi salam came Hawa, his wife. From amongst you wives, يعني meaning you're able to get married, it's halal. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, so that you may find repose in them. What does it mean by repose? Meaning you're able to find that طمأنينة, that sakina. A wife gets married and she wants someone to look after her. You know, a wife gets married because she wants someone to look after her. She wants someone to love her, to give her attention, you know, to be with her, to joke with her, to have fun with her, to travel with her. That's her haqq. A husband gets married because he also wants someone to live with, someone to advise him, someone to be there, someone to, you know, to help him, to advise him, someone to look after him, someone to look after his children, his household, his assets, you know, his honor, you know, to be there, to advise him, to find that tranquility, that tuma'nina. But you have to understand that we can't play different roles, because wallahi, when we play different roles and we don't understand each other's roles and the rights that we have over each other and vice versa, then that's when the marriage just breaks and it crumbles. Okay? لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا يعني وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ, and we have created amongst yourselves, between yourselves, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. يعني, and when you think about this ayat, yani, and Allah, we are made amongst you tranquility and love and affection. That affection should be there. Hence why we're going to talk about who should you get married to, what are the conditions, how do you do it, and so on and so forth. Yani, this ayah, when Allah states وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً, that the asl should be that when you get married to someone, you are attracted to them, so therefore you get married. So therefore you have an affection when you live with them and you're together and you're intimate with them as well. Okay? But this can't be the case if you get married for the wrong reasons. This can't be the case if you have a high standard and then you just get married to someone because there's no one else, and then that's why you have to have your morals and your priorities set right, brothers and sisters. It's crucial and it's incumbent upon all of us to bear in mind and realize that marriage is something that is deep. Now, I think with that being said, I think that's enough for us to leave it as a muqaddimah, as an introduction as to the benefits of marriage. That's what I think this muqaddimah, yani, this is what I was trying to get to, the benefits of marriage. Because wallahi, ikhwani and brothers and sisters, we live in a day and age where many of us live in a world where we are fighting ourselves and the truth. Yeah, we're fighting Islam. Islam is the key for you. Yeah, and why you have so many problems and you have this and you have that and you have this and you have that, because we're uneducated about Islam, but we're very educated about anything else to do with Islam. That's the issue right there. So the more you learn about Islam, see, marriage is not something that you just read in the books and that's it. It's not enough for you just to read in the books. It's beneficial for you to read about it and educate, but it's not enough. You have to actually understand. And with these, inshallah, yani, jalasat and these sittings, we hope to tackle these things. Yani, the practical things that you're actually going to face as being a newly married couple. Because after those couple of months of this honeymoon and after the lovely-dovely, and after that the reality kicks in. Now you have to, you know, live together. Can I take living with this man for the rest of my life? Can I take living with this woman for the rest of my life? But if you've got the right priorities straight and you know why you got married and she knows why she got married and you're both compatible for those two reasons as to why you got married, you're both asking yourselves to why you got married and you're sincere, then bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, it will be khair. It will be khair. Why? Because you did it for the right reason. And because you did it for the right reason and you were sincere, Allah Azza wa Jalla will make it easy. No one is perfect. No relationship is perfect. You have to bear that in mind, brothers and sisters. No single relationship is perfect. It's not easy living with a woman. I'll tell you straight. It's not easy living with a woman. A woman can be a headache at times. You know, you can't live with them, you can't live without them. I tell you the truth. I speak the truth. This is the haqq. You can't live without them, you can't live with them. That's woman. And it's not easy living with a man. I'll tell you the truth, I'm a man. Men are not easy. Men are, from the things that, you know, I know for a fact women's probably think in their head, they never understand, They sometimes lock off all the emotions. They're not really understanding, not sympathetic. They always blame the wives. You know, the blame always goes to the woman. You know, they always think that they're always right. They never want to listen to advice. You know, and they're always just in their own zone. Men are not easy. Men are actually not easy to live with, and same as women. But what's easy? If someone has their standards right, if someone lives as a good Muslim like the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and a woman lives like a good Muslimah like the Ummahat al-Muslimin, then without a doubt, you're able to live together upon peace and tranquility and affection, and according to the legislations of Islam, according to the Sunnah. وبهذا ونكتفي بهذا القدر. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're here on the website MSO, your trusted partner in realizing your dreams. Whether you want to study, make hijrah, need advice in marriage, need advice in general affairs related to your life, whatever it may be, alhamdulillah, MSO has over 10 years experience. 10 years experience, that's right, in supporting and guiding aspiring students that want to go seek knowledge abroad, or that are studying currently within the Islamic countries and they don't know how to go about with regards to that which they need to do, and the best journey to take. Alhamdulillah, we've got a dedicated team which will cater to all of your needs. We believe in making your dreams a reality by dedicating experts to give you advice, personalized assistance, and a wealth of resources. It doesn't matter what you need, MSO has it all. Cultural insights, or logistical support, we have so much to offer to you. So remember, you're here for a reason. You didn't come across us by mistake. Join us in shaping a brighter future and expanding your horizons. Your success is our mission at MSO. So remember, the decision is yours. Do you want professionals, or do you want to suffer on the way? We make your life easy. All you have to do is just click any of the services and we'll do the rest for you. Assalamu alaikum.